If Nintendo had one shot, one more Nintendo Direct to announce everything you ever wanted, would they capture it or just let it slip?
His palms are sweaty, knees.
Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Hundo Jake and welcome back to Hundo P Games. So as you might have heard, Nintendo just recently announced that there's going to be a new Nintendo Direct tomorrow evening talking about 3DS and Switch titles that are going to be launching presumably before or around E3 2018. Now I'm not convinced this is going to be the biggest of Nintendo Directs, as we know the E3 date is approaching, but we do need to know about some games that are going to sort of lead us into the summer season. Now the Direct is only going to be half an hour long, but I thought we needed to spin that prediction wheel anyway, just to see what turns up. So with that, let's start with the 3DS.
Sorry I'm late. Come on, let's go.
Detective Pikachu. You knew that little Danny DeVito is turning up on this list. His game launches at the end of the month, and with the movie now in production, Nintendo's gotta drum up some hype for him, so I would say that that's a pretty safe bet.
Detective Pikachu, bolt of brilliance.
Shovel Knight, King of Cards. Now I know what you're thinking. This game is probably more suited to a Switch announcement, and you may be right, but I thought because it's releasing on 3DS as well, I'd put it in this category, as I think at this point, it's honestly just too small of a game, and Nintendo needs to announce a couple more heavy hitters to get us through spring and into summer. I'm not sure how many games they would realistically have left for the 3DS to announce, and this would just be an easy win to advertise for the handheld. It's going to do well on Switch, and I think they know that.
Yokoso, Shibarutsu Bath 調査隊へ。私は司令コマンドアーサー。
Another game with no date, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux. This might honestly be one of the last big games for the system. It's SMT, Nintendo wants to get people invested before SMT 5 comes out for Switch, so they gotta give us a date for this game. I expect to see some gameplay, but because of the nature of it, they probably won't spend too much time on it.
探索任務を妨害する。
I'm also predicting that we're going to get at least two smaller budget games, more along the lines of those Kirby games we got last year, as well as something similar to Mario Party Top 100 that we got in November. Maybe something like a WarioWare compilation, including games from Touch, Twisted, and Micro Games, or even a downloadable Rhythm Heaven game. Lastly, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the 3DS is getting Yokai Watch 3 localized. The game launched in Japan in 2016, and I doubt Nintendo really wants to heavily invest in brand new 3DS games at this point. So localizing the third Yokai Watch game for us Westerners seems pretty logical. It's also a great way to keep the 3DS library going strong until the end and not just fizzle out with a bunch of cheaper made games. Okay, that's about it for the 3DS side of things. Now let's get down and dirty with the Nintendo Switch.
A new Mario Tennis game is bringing a new level of skill and competition to Nintendo Switch.
Number 1, Mario Tennis Aces. It's an obvious pick. Nintendo already stated that we'd be seeing more of it, so we're going to be seeing more of it. Probably some more story mode, maybe a breakdown of how the progression on the world map works, with probably an extra multiplayer mode or two thrown in there. I know that sounds pretty broad, but the game is presumably coming out soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got a date for that as well.
Offering a new flavor of tennis gameplay with a variety of missions, boss battles, and more.
Next up is Hyrule Warriors. We know this game is coming out in the spring, we just don't know when, so we'll probably get a very short trailer, maybe 30 seconds or so I would think, just highlighting the game as a whole, showing all the characters, adventure maps, fairies, and dropping the release date. Hyrule Warriors was one of the best received games on the Wii U in terms of replayability and accessibility, so we can't wait to find out when we get to play it all again on the go.
Join Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and Cranky Kong for this critically acclaimed adventure, which you can now enjoy in
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. We already know the game is launching on May 4th, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again here, if only for a minute or so, just to remind us that it's still a thing. I think this game was grossly overlooked on the Wii U and remains one of my favorite platformers of all time. Nintendo needs to hype this game up after its reputation has been building for a couple years now. I also expect to see at least one more new feature, whether that be some kind of visual setting or something as big as an extra world or secret levels. Hell, maybe they still have some kind of Funky Kong tricks up their sleeve. I don't know, but expect to see it.
adventure anytime, anywhere, with anyone.
Okay, now we're going to get a bit crazier and start talking about the games that Nintendo might announce for late spring or early summer. These are going to be the games with release windows but no hard dates.
Launches on Nintendo Switch this spring.
First off, and bear with me here, is No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again. This was a pretty surprising announcement during Nintendo's Nindy Direct last summer, and led some people to believe that this game is farther along than we initially thought. Grasshopper has been doing their own Japanese streams on the development of the game, going over some light details as well as new weapons and items. It wouldn't surprise me, and it would be pretty awesome if we saw more of this game tomorrow. It's time to show off that beam-fapping Nintendo. It's game time!
It's too late.
Now you're screwed, old man. You wanna play? Let's play.
Next is Yoshi. You know that weird cardboard diorama Yoshi game that was announced last year and then went silent? It's making its return with more of a vision. I don't know, but I think they need to start selling this game because it honestly doesn't appear to be that big, and it's definitely not that kind of game people want them sitting on to show more of at E3. It takes up a slot. I think they have better stuff to show. It's Yoshi. We get it. It's okay. Let's see it and get it out there.
The wonderful...
Wonderful 101. Yes, the rumored port of Wonderful 101. Platinum had teased the game on their Twitter months ago, and I believe now is the time. It's the perfect spring/summer game with its cherry blossom themes and explosive personality. Maybe Platinum Games is working on the port, maybe not, but I don't think Nintendo wants to see this title go to waste, as it only sold over 5,000 copies in its first week in Japan, and it trended pretty similarly in the US as well. Come on, Nintendo, let it shine.
Valiantium blade. I am Mark.
Lastly, and what I predict will be the most talked about and biggest announcement for this Direct, will be the new Fire Emblem game for Switch. A lot of people have been saying that we're probably going to get some footage and details about it, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction and say we're going to see very little, but we will see it. I'm guessing maybe a short pre-rendered trailer or teaser that might give us an idea of a plot, but that's about it. I think Nintendo coming out and saying more details about Mario Tennis Aces during the Direct speaks to the amount that they will focus on other surprise titles and was put out there in order to manage expectations. I could see Fire Emblem becoming a late summer or early fall title with more details at E3. So there you have it. That's all my predictions for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think is going to show up at the Nintendo Direct, as well as any dream games you want to see. Give me your pie in the sky. I'm going to be doing a live reaction stream tomorrow when the Direct airs, so make sure you tune in for that if you want to see me lose my mind, probably more than once. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, sub the channel if you want to see more Nintendo news and reactions, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay beautiful.